This is a third of 4 videos that show drills parents and teachers can use with their children to help them work on the adding skill. We'll be working on adding problems where the answer is greater than 20. So these drills may be better suited to children who are 7 or older. But before doing any of these drills with your child, make sure she understands the way we represent numbers larger than 20 using the bars. First of all, she should understand how we represent multiples of 10. Here's 30, here's 60, and here's 90. Second, she should understand how we represent numbers between the multiples of 10, for example, 35, by combining the multiples of 10 with multiples of 1. So here's the way we represent 35 using the bars. Here's how we represent 63. And here's how we represent 91. Once your child understands how this works, she'll be ready for these drills. As always, we start with a word problem. So here's the first one. There are 2 kindergarten classes at Sam's school. One has 17 children and the other has 19 children. How many kindergarten children are there in all in Sam's school? Ask your child to say the adding problem, which is 17 plus 19, and write it down. Then ask your child to lay out the bars for 17 and 19. Now ask your child to add the bars together by putting the 2 oranges together and placing the black and the blue end to end above them. Now explain that you want to replace the black and blue with an orange and another bar to match the length of the black and the blue. That turns out to be a dark green. Explain that because the orange plus the dark green have the same length as the black plus the blue, we can replace the black and the blue with the orange and the dark green. Ask your child to do this. Then ask what number is made with 3 oranges and a dark green. Write down the number and say, now we know that there are 36 children in all in Sam's school. Here's some other word problems you can try. Susie and Sasha have made chocolate chip cookies and are selling them to the neighbors for 5 cents each. Sasha sells 7 cookies and earns 35 cents. Susie sells 5 cookies and earns 25 cents. The girls then go to the corner store to buy candy with the money they've made. How much do they have to spend in all? Ask your child to say the adding problem, 35 plus 25, and write it down. Now ask your child to lay out the bars. Show your child how to solve the problem by moving the oranges together and placing the 2 yellows end to end on top. Now ask, what bar has the same length as the 2 yellows? Then ask your child to replace the 2 yellows with an orange. Finally, ask your child to count the number of orange bars and to say what number they make. Then write the answer. Let's now look at an adding problem involving 3 numbers. Here's the word problem. How many days are there in the first 3 months of the year? Start by explaining to your child that January has 31 days, February has 28 days, and March has 31 days. Ask your child to say the adding problem, 31 plus 28 plus 31, and write it down. Now ask your child to lay out the bars. Tell your child that to answer the adding problem, she must move the oranges together and place the brown and 2 whites end to end above the oranges. Then ask your child to find the bar that has the same length as the brown plus 2 whites, and ask her to replace the brown and 2 whites with an orange. Finally, ask your child to count the orange bars and to say what number they make. Then write down the answer. Continue working with adding problems until your child understands well the steps she should take to solve them. Step 1 is to say the word problem as an adding problem and write it down in numbers. Step 2 is to lay out the bars to represent the adding problem. Step 3 is to group all the orange bars together. Step 4 is to place any remaining bars end to end. Step 5 is to replace the end-to-end bars with a matching bar or a matching combination of an orange and some other bar. And finally, the last step, after grouping and replacing, is to write down the number that the final group of bars represents. Once your child has mastered this way of adding, she's ready to make the connection between this way of solving adding problems and the way adding is usually taught in schools without using bars. I'll show some drills for learning this in the next video.